Pound dribble, sidestepping, going right, pulling up. Bang. Cash. Now, why is this such a big deal? Because we know that in games, teams have figured out if Caitlin Clark goes left, she's looking to pull up. If you push her to her right hand, she never feels comfortable going right and pulling up from deep or pulling up jump shots.
Pay attention to what you just saw. Pound dribble, sidestep going right, pull-up jumper. Cash. That's not the Caitlin Clark we watched all last season. Because if you studied Indiana Fever game film from 2024, you know exactly what defenses figured out. Push her right, eliminate the three-point threat, force her left, she's pulling up from the logo. It became predictable. And in a league where defensive schemes evolve week to week, predictability is death.
Finish with her left hand. I don't know what happened there, but WNBA teams know. If Caitlin Clark, if Aaliyah Boston is setting a screen and you allow Caitlin Clark to turn the corner and go left, she's pulling up. If you push her right, she's not going to pull up because she don't like to go right to pull up. So her working on this shows you that she knows it's a weakness and she's working on it.
Here's the scouting report every WNBA team had on Caitlin Clark by mid-season. When Aaliyah Boston sets that high screen and Clark comes off it, if she turns the corner going left, she's looking to shoot. Doesn't matter if it's from 25 feet or 30 feet, the ball is going up. But if you force her to her right hand, she's passing to the roll man or attacking the rim. The pull-up three going right? Practically non-existent in her shot chart. And that's not speculation. That's what the film shows across 30-plus games.
Watch the film. Okay. You got, you're going to have NaLyssa Smith coming up to set a ball screen, right? Pardon. That was the wrong spot. Okay, here we go. Aaliyah Boston is going to be coming up to set a ball screen. Okay, you got Aaliyah Boston right here. She's setting the ball screen at half court. Okay, setting the ball screen. Boom, she sets it, and then she's going to reset. She's going to reset right here. And this is where Caitlin loves to pull up. Going back left, ball in her left hand, pull up.
Watch this possession against Chicago in July 2024. Aaliyah Boston sets the screen at half court, resets, and look where Clark wants to go. Back left, ball in her left hand. That's her comfort zone. That's where she won games at Iowa. That's where she broke the NCAA scoring record. And that's where she lived her entire rookie season. The step back going left became so reliable that defenses started overplaying it. They'd force her right and live with the consequences, because the consequences weren't three-point daggers. They were drives, passes, maybe a floater, not the shots that demoralize opponents.
Look, she in the gym cooking, man. She in the gym cooking. Okay, we going left, and now you're going to see her coming right to pull up. Going left, boom, let's go right. Go right, yeah. We not just gonna be stuck going left to get the jump shot off. We can go left and right to pull up now. Yeah. I like the work. I like the work, man. I like the work. Okay, we coming right, pulling up. I like it.
Now look at this practice footage closely. She's not just working on going right, she's working on the footwork going right. When she goes left, watch her feet. There's that step back. She creates separation with a backward step, gets the ball in her left hand, brings the right hand over, textbook shooting form. But when she goes right in these drills, she's walking into the shot, no step back. The ball stays in her right hand longer. She's training a completely different shooting motion for that side. That's not casual off-season work. That's addressing a specific weakness that showed up on every defensive game plan.
For that step back. You seen her step back right there. And that's the difference. When she went right into the shot. Right? Let's take a look. When she went to her right here, she goes to her right. She just gonna walk right into it. You see how she walked right into it? Now when she goes left, watch her step. You see her step back? You see the step back right there. That's why I had it on the feet. The attention is in the details. Caitlin Clark been working on her game, man. And I'm telling you,
the attention is in the details. Most casual fans won't notice the difference between a step back and a walk-in jumper. But defensive coordinators notice. When you step back going left, you're creating space against a defender who's closing out. When you walk into a shot going right, you're catching the defense off guard because they're not expecting you to pull up at all. They're expecting the pass or the drive. And if Clark can make that shot consistently, if she can go right and rise up with confidence, the entire defensive calculus changes. You can't overplay left anymore. You can't force her anywhere.
You can find a clip here and there, but you're not going to find many where she's going right in the Indiana Fever games and like consistently pulling up. Majority of the time, she want to cross over from right to left, get to that left hand and pull up, or she want to be coming straight line, or she'll pull up going right. She'll go right and do a snatch back, but when she snatches back, the ball is in her left hand. So it's easier for her to bring her right hand and get the shot up. Caitlin Clark is in the gym whipping up a pot of something.
Think about what this means for Indiana's offensive system. Last season, teams knew exactly how to guard the Clark-Boston pick and roll. Show hard on the left side, force right, rotate to Boston on the roll. Make Clark be a playmaker instead of a scorer. That worked often enough to keep the Fever out of the playoffs in year one. But if Clark comes back in the 2025 season pulling up going right, if that's a legitimate weapon in her arsenal, defenses have to respect both sides. That means softer coverages. That means more space. That means more opportunities for everyone else.
Right there. We are this close to finally seeing Caitlin Clark back in live game Indiana Fever action. We got a small taste with the Team USA thing, okay? And they was bringing her off the bench, doing all types of crazy stuff. Who don't play for months and months and months, pop up at the Team USA and wins MVP? Who do that? And all of y'all people out there complain.
Remember the Team USA scrimmages in December 2024? Clark didn't play for months after the season ended, showed up to those exhibition games, and won MVP. She was coming off the bench, playing limited minutes, and still dominated. That tells you the talent was never in question. The question was always about refinement, about eliminating the small weaknesses that separate All-Star from MVP. And this right-hand pull-up, that's exactly the kind of refinement that wins MVP awards.
Nationally televised game? What you mean? It's the Clark Show. The show has arrived. She got everybody paid. Why are y'all complaining? Y'all want to keep getting money, right? Well, the networks need good ratings, and Caitlin Clark is going to bring you the best ratings possible. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this small adjustment that Caitlin Clark is bringing to her game. Let me know what you think.
Here's what makes this particularly significant for the 2025 season. Caitlin Clark just brought the entire WNBA a new television deal worth $2.1 billion over 11 years. She's the reason every Indiana Fever game is nationally televised. She's the reason attendance doubled league-wide. She's the reason players got charter flights and better salaries. The league needs her to be must-watch television, and must-watch television requires evolution, requires showing something new. The casual fan who tuned in last year because of the hype, they need a reason to come back, and Caitlin Clark, but better, is a pretty compelling reason. This isn't just about individual improvement, it's about sustaining the momentum she created. Because the worst thing that could happen to the WNBA right now is for Clark to plateau, for defenses to figure her out completely, for the ratings to drop because the product got stale. But that's not what's happening here. What's happening is a player who already changed the game deciding she's not done changing it. She's in the gym, she's working on the specific flaw that showed up in the film, and she's doing it before training camp even starts. That's the mentality that separates good players from MVPs. Now let's talk about what this means for Stephanie White and the Fever coaching staff. White came in as head coach with a reputation for defensive schemes and player development. She inherits a team built around a generational talent who just spent the offseason fixing her own weaknesses without being told to. That's either a coach's dream or a coach's nightmare, depending on whether White tries to control every detail or trusts Clark's basketball IQ. Last season, under Christie Sides, there were possessions where you could see the tension between what the play call was and what Clark wanted to do. The freelancing, the early shot clock threes, the moments where she'd wave off a screen and just go create. Some of that was rookie confidence, some of that was knowing she was the best player on the floor. If White tries to rein that in too much, if she tries to make Clark fit into a rigid system instead of building the system around Clark's evolving game, that's a problem. But if White recognizes what's happening here, if she sees that Clark is self-correcting and enhancing her game, then the coaching job becomes about maximizing that growth, about designing sets that give Clark the option to go either direction, about putting her in positions where defenses have to guess, about surrounding her with players who can capitalize when defenses overcommit. The right-hand pull-up isn't just a new shot, it's a new dimension, and dimensions are what make players unguardable. Look at the greatest scorers in basketball history, men's or women's game. They all had multiple dimensions. They could beat you in different ways from different spots. They made defenses choose which poison to take. Clark already had the left side pull-up, the deep range, the court vision, the ability to score in transition. Adding a reliable right side pull-up makes her exponentially harder to defend, not just incrementally harder. And here's the thing about beat writers and analysts who cover this league. They're going to see this practice footage, and most of them will write the same story. Clark adds new weapon to arsenal, but that misses the bigger picture. The bigger picture is about sustainability, about whether the Caitlin Clark phenomenon can last multiple years, or whether it was a one-season flash. The players who sustain excellence are the ones who evolve, who don't let defenses get comfortable, who show up each season with something new to worry about. Clark is 22 years old and already thinking like a veteran, already understanding that what worked in college won't work forever in the pros, already putting in the work to stay ahead of the scouting reports. So when people ask whether she can win MVP in 2025, whether she can lead the Fever to the playoffs, whether she can maintain the ratings and attention, the answer is in this practice footage. The answer is in the willingness to address weaknesses instead of just leaning on strengths. The answer is an understanding that being great once isn't enough. You have to be great repeatedly, because the WNBA is better now than it was a year ago. The competition is better, the defensive schemes are more sophisticated, the scouting is more detailed. Standing still means falling behind. And Clark isn't standing still. She's adding dimensions. She's eliminating predictability. She's making herself harder to game plan against. That's what MVP-level players do. They don't wait for coaches to identify weaknesses. They identify them first. They don't wait for the offseason program to start. They start working in December. They don't just maintain their level, they raise it. And if Clark comes into the 2025 season with a legitimate right-hand pull-up three, if she can go either direction off the pick and roll with equal confidence, the league better be ready, because the player who already changed everything is about to change it again. So drop a comment and tell me, does this adjustment make Caitlin Clark the MVP favorite for 2025? Does adding this dimension to her game make her unguardable? And what does Stephanie White need to do as head coach to maximize what Clark is building? Because this isn't just about one player getting better. This is about the face of the league deciding she's not done evolving, and that should terrify every defense in the WNBA.